Welcome to my live Calmcast. Today, we have one of the seasoned fine artists from our very own city, Mumbai, India, amongst us. He graduated from Sir J.G. Institute of Applied Arts years back and served the advertising industry, but later, his passion for fine arts pushed him to instill his souls in his paintings. He elevated away from the technological advancements by staying organic and still bears the old, strong roots of the fine art, industry, and communication. He had to step out to follow his dream and listen to his soul, which lied in the fresh paints and the feel of the canvas. Recognized as one of the talented fine artists whose work has been recognized nationally and internationally, I am more than happy to welcome my batchmate, Mr. Venkatesh Dornal. Hello, Venkatesh. Good evening. Just unmute your with us. Yeah,
Thanks, Arun. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come to your forum,
yeah.
and we'll have a lovely chat.
I'm sure it
Let
is going to be a lovely chat because the entire session revolves around the questions and the answers, which are totally soul enriching from your end. And I'm sure there are many viewers who would be also listening to you today. So speak up your heart, and we are all there.
Sure.
So, my first question to you is, how would you
Yeah.
distinguish between hand painting and digital art?
Okay. See, hand painting. I've tried both. In fact, I've tried digital art too. But I felt somehow digital art, from my point of view, it's not to be taken in a negative way. It's just that I felt probably it lacked a bit of physics, because hand painting is something, there is every error, there is every human error or possibility of human error, and one learns, and one conducts his he tries to get his work as perfect as possible, but you keep making errors, and we all know that uh, mistakes are the best
A
teacher.
resume, a resume.
Yeah. So we all know that when we make mistakes, the more we make mistakes, the more we tend to learn slowly and slowly and gradually. And there comes a point wherein you know that this is working, this is not working for you. And secondly, I felt the main reason for me is you can undo in digital art, but in hand painting, what happens is once you've done something, especially in oil paint, now there is watercolors also. That it depends on which media you're doing. Whether it's acrylics, it's an opaque medium. Even oils is an opaque medium. In such a case, if you're very concerned about your strokes, you got to
Correct, correct.
it's the first thing is, you want to get your strokes right, you want to get your color scheme, the value tones, the color values right. So when and it also depends on placement, your timing, a
Perfect.
lot of things.
Right,
But in
right.
case of digital art, you can every now and then undo it. That human error is eliminated. So I personally felt there's a lot more challenge in hand
Absolutely,
paint.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I personally felt hand painting. There are many more challenges, as in especially going live, doing portraits from real life,
Yes,
uh, and uh, you could go wrong, and one tends to learn as to how to rectify on the spot.
correct.
It's like we often observe when we see ramp walks,
Right.
fashion, comes to
Correct,
fashion.
correct.
We tend to see a certain model. Sometimes, she loses the while walking, she might lose a step or whatever. Her heel tends to go up, but then they have learned the art of,
They know
still
to
coming
carry
along.
themselves. Correct.
Yeah, they carry themselves. They still continue on with the same thing. So that is something which is so important in when you're doing such stuff. So that
Lovely.
the digital part is all it's all ready made. It's all like gifted to you on a platter, and all you have to do is, of course, you have that brushes, you have those all kinds of tools. But if you see the texture part, one more thing, when you're painting in oil paints, we say, uh, when we say paint, there's got to be it's got to have a certain thickness.
Correct.
You
Correct.
know,
Correct.
it has a certain
It is
thickness.
a challenge, and
Yeah,
it's like if a fine artist is there, seasoned fine artist, he would love to live on that edge with that passion, and that's what I can see from what you're saying. The passion is something which keeps you alive during that moment, and I
the
could
challenge
recollect.
basically.
Yeah, and I could recollect your Audi pictures, uh, where you,
That is a
yeah,
recent one. Yeah,
yeah,
my recent
yeah. So that
which
time
had
it must have really, you must have really, because having the Audi in front of you and painting the aesthetics of the Audi would have really got you on nerves when you painted it so well.
absolutely.
Painted it so well.
Absolutely. I thought, for that moment I was thinking, what is the characteristic of a Audi car? And I've known I known about its speed and stuff like that. So I thought, it's about the horsepower. Let me get the momentum. Let me get the movement also happening. So
Yes.
in such a case, what I did was, besides, although it was stationary, so I did. Uh, I created a background wherein it looked a little on its
Dramatic.
way, kind of.
Dramatic. Acha.
So
Okay.
not only dramatic, it was also about showing the movement.
Movement.
For me, it's the horsepower
Correct.
that is so important.
Wow.
So I thought that was a wonderful experience.
Experience.
That
Very
was the
different
first,
from the
a very
human
different,
experience. Very different
very
from the
absolutely,
human experience. Okay.
absolutely, because I'm so used to doing
Yes. Yes.
live portraits and landscapes and all. Suddenly, this comes as a different.
Yeah, the first
Uh,
1 minute was absolutely inspiring seeing your paintings, and I'm sure we'll show it again if we take a break after an hour or so.
sure.
We'll move on to the second question: is which genre you like painting the most, and why?
Yeah. I personally felt uh, the impressionistic era was the best of its kind.
Oh, lovely.
Although, in fact, if you ask most of the artists, all wherever, from whichever country, you talk of British artists, you talk of American artists, you talk of French artists, you talk of Indians, you talk of Chinese artists. All these artists they are overawed by this impressionism,
Impression.
particularly because of the colors, the kind of colors that have been broken down, the kind of work that you get to see.
Okay.
So if you ask me, the last 2-3 centuries back, I would like to go. I wouldn't necessarily go back to the Renaissance era. I prefer this particular era, as it inspires me a lot.
Oh,
And
lovely.
you see a lot of splashes of color. That's where it all comes.
Correct.
It really charges you up.
Yeah.
So I particularly felt artists like John Singer Sargent.
Oh, lovely. Even my
Uh,
favorite.
yeah, then I don't know how do you name him, call his name. Rick Sarola. Then there are a couple of then Repin. You know, then there are a couple of great legendary artists. There are plenty of these names. So these artists have, if you see their work, you will be so inspired that you'll keep for the next.
Correct.
Uh, you
Yes.
think even this life is too short for it. So
Absolutely.
these are
Absolutely.
the artists who've actually taken to another level altogether.
Yeah. True.
From where it began, of course, we all know Van Gogh. We all have seen Monet's work and Mani's work
Yeah.
and Renoir and
Joseph
all these.
Turner, John Turner's.
John
Yeah.
Turner,
Yeah.
yeah. Then there are
There
many
are
more.
Indians also. Like I used to get fascinated with SM Pandit's, Vasudev Kamat's, then many of these who are like mythological subject. They, we
Yes.
also had one Ravi Verma print, not a painting, but of
Mhm.
Krishna Arjuna of the Mahabharata theme, very beautifully
Right.
designed by Ravi Verma, Raja Ravi Verma. It was the
Uh-huh.
130th print from Germany. So the
Oh,
edition was 130th edition of that. We had that. So these
oh,
genres also inspires us a lot when an artist looks upon creating some segment for his own. So your genre especially lies in that, and why impressionism is, as you said, the current scenario inspires you with a lot of colors. That's really nice, because if the current
it,
scenario inspires you with colors, then I think the next generation definitely has a lot of food for thought to look at.
absolutely, because there's a lot of challenge in those. I like the concept of color relationship, and in fact,
Right.
I need to bring in more in my painting,
Correct.
and in fact, I'll be working more on that. Particularly thought that within a limited color palette, then obviously going with the complementary colors and all
Yeah.
these make uh, warm against the cool colors.
Correct.
These all these stuff make it really romantic. In
Yeah.
fact, I would also like to include Gustav Klimt.
Oh.
His work too is quite which worth I mean,
Looking at
uh, looking at definitely,
and
and in
inspiring.
fact owning that. I would say, oh,
Wow.
it's worth owning that. So it really has a
Impact.
uh, uh, great impact, and it stays on. It lingers for years and years. So you take these names, Van Gogh and all these great artists.
Yes.
The minute you take their name, the picture just their work just comes across. Like daffodils, like
Yes.
sunflowers, and
Yes.
all those stuff, especially Van Gogh's.
Right.
I love those strokes, and I love his spontaneity. I love his bold colors, bold brushing as well.
Did you know Van Gogh
So,
was colorblind? I read on Google and I was stunned that he was colorblind. But the way he portrayed the strokes and every all of his painting, we never
mhm.
knew. Even in college, I never knew when we used to study art. But
In
it,
fact,
it, it
this is new to me. In fact,
it is
I
very new
think
for me also. I was just digging up his portfolio on Google, and I was searching for a colorblind therapy for some artists, especially who cannot see colors. But for them, how would anybody teach colors? And that's where I got a reference of Vincent Van Gogh's, like he was colorblind, and it was very shocking for me to understand that why those colors, because there is a particular key for colorblind people. I
mm,
didn't even know about that recently, and just a month before I came to know, because one of I was working with one of the artists, and who doesn't see colors the way I
oh,
see, and I was stunned that he's an artist and he can't see colors. He's a theater artist.
pro- probably I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, so this was something new for me, and I mean, it is mentioned in Google, so I came to know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have
Okay.
come to know about
Because
that.
I did watch this film, this animated movie.
Yeah,
They had
and if you go to the key of colorblind color schemes and everything, then you will exactly understand that why his strokes had streaks inside, and he
streaks,
played
correct?
with gray, orange, and those strokes, because for him to represent the mood of that particular color was
Hmm.
was a technique which he used to use, because he never knew,
Uh-huh.
probably. That
Yeah,
was
and
because entire style revolves around even the sunflower, even the nightscape and the trail, the skies and all. You see, there is a technique which he used with streaks, and he
that
played with
was
strokes.
that is constant throughout.
Yes,
You
yes,
the
yes.
minute you see it's his signature
So you
signature style. Every
yes,
artist
yes.
has a signature style.
I
Uh,
I was really shocked, and such a beautiful artist. Where after his death, his recognition was, and that was very sad to know.
at very
That's the
sometimes
reason. Like the reason is very important, that the artist now and then also has to be acknowledged by people, and their soul has to be listened to what they have to say. So then, when they are alive, at least we have the memories to cherish, and even the next generation will know that what went behind the hard work that an artist has put up. Uh, so we will move on to the third question.
Yeah.
Which medium do you use the most? I mean, I've seen a lot of oil, but other than that, you have passion for acrylics, watercolors, and explain from your perspective what can one achieve with that, with with the medium that he or she chooses.
Yeah. Look, my first, during my childhood, obviously, I would use wash colors. In fact, if you are out in India, we call them poster colors.
Okay.
So the bottle colors that we call. So that is my first uh, uh, interaction with colors. So I started off with poster colors, then moved on slowly to waters. In fact, I didn't know that initially. I didn't know the difference between watercolors and posters, because I would assume that I thought we had liberty to use white. As we all know,
Right.
water
Yes.
is a transparent medium, and
Correct.
wherein white is seldom used. Rather, I
Yes.
would say
Yes.
that.
Usually, you leave
And
the paper white. I mean,
yeah, leave the
you-
paper white, or if
or you
something goes wrong, yeah, what we tend to scrape it out.
correct.
That is one of the techniques to, if you faltered somewhere, or in today's times, obviously, you get those
Base, acrylic base.
mask. Yeah, you get those. You can masking liquid. It is
Correct.
known as
Masking
masking
liquid.
liquid, wherein you can cover those areas where you don't want
Correct.
the color to pass that, to
Pass
enter
that.
that area.
Right.
If you want to retain that paper white. So but the challenge always lies in, without using that masking
Correct.
liquid, and without external
Right.
areas, because and if you want to be good at all these stuff,
You need to
I think
practice.
you need to ensure that you don't take additional support from out. So, to me, initially, I found it a little difficult, but then as I understood, as I kept doing it, then I thought watercolor. I started enjoying watercolor also. I used to do it on cartridge paper, although
Yes.
of course you get special handmade papers only for
Yes.
watercolors, and slowly moved on to those papers also. But all in all, as I grew up, my personal liking started inclining. It started. I started liking more of oils. I don't know why.
Okay.
And maybe because I think it is the artist who inspires you. Maybe all these paintings that I've been seeing over the last, 40 plus years, I felt, in fact, as I said, all these greats, even for that matter, the American artist, Norman Rockwell, Boris Vallejo, when you see
Yeah.
their work,
Boris Vallejo was like absolutely a fantasy illustrator. Like,
fantasies.
actually.
I know they are illustrators,
Yes.
but then I know they are illustrators. They're termed rather. In
Correct.
fact, we all
Excellent.
know
Correct.
in terms of when you see it
Yeah.
when you see their anatomy or whatever, it's
Correct.
picture. It's absolutely perfect.
Perfect. Yes.
So
But he
you
did
get
go wrong with one of his paintings, and he had mentioned about how did he go wrong. With the
whom are you talking of?
Boris Vallejo.
Boris.
Vallejo.
Okay.
So
Vallejo.
he actually has described in one of his paintings of Hercules, where the wings, especially the anatomy of the wings, the side wings, had been little extra, because what he used to do is he used to photograph the model actually standing over there and ask them to pose for his paintings, and then do fantasy accordingly. So entire painting went on with such an finesse that it's beautiful. I mean, I'm a great fan of Boris's work.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
because he created that aura. He is the one who actually
Absolutely.
accentuated the masculine and the feminine,
True.
the
True.
structure, the body
True.
structure.
True.
And he took it to another level. In fact, he was the first one in such a study. In case of anatomical study, he was a great in terms of showing uh, actually how to portray and how to.
Correct.
Uh,
Correct.
he had a different style altogether.
Very
And
different. Right? Very different style.
And coming to Norman Rockwell also, he too was a great artist.
Yes.
Mundane day-to-day,
Subjects.
whether it is homely environment, whether it's a political subject, or whether it's simply going to the dentist, or whether it's simply going and buying a newspaper, whether it's simply eating at a restaurant.
True.
All these subjects were he made it so interesting. Or whether it be an army guy coming back after
True.
having won the war.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes. I remember that. It raises my goosebumps, huh? When I see
yeah.
that those paintings. Actually, I didn't had a collection of books, but one of my neighbor had a huge collection of these encyclopedias. So I used to dig into these artists and look at those paintings, especially for the history of art period. Those paintings used to be, we used to have tutorials. Do you remember that? For history of
Right,
arts of India
absolutely.
as the West. That Edith Thomry, I still cannot forget the book, because the Wagle madam also we cannot forget, because she used to get all the plates from the exhibition and show us keenly on different aspects of that. So that had impacted so much in the mind, that Renaissance and the period of those era actually grew on your mind, with the way they used to portray their regular subjects, the lively subjects. Nothing. I mean, be it anything, like just this countryside atmosphere, or I just can't imagine, like, these poetries of William Wordsworth, William Shakespeare could have been beautifully replicated by these people. But the Sistine
Right.
Chapel is still an epic in everybody's mind.
Absolutely. In
I mean,
fact,
I don't know how those things were accomplished, because mind blowing. The work is
that
mind blowing, and in what conditions
was
they must have done that.
absolutely
It's
they
way
were
beyond
way
my
ahead
mind.
of their times.
Correct,
That's what
correct, correct.
all these legendary names. They
Correct.
were way ahead of their times, and in fact, one should every artist. I'm
Yes.
sure every artist's dream would be to at least go and see it once.
Yes,
This
yes.
time looking at this, all this while we've been seeing it in books, in
Correct.
pictures, in movies,
Like,
in
if I have to
documentaries.
say this also, na, like, India also has such rich cultures. Like, if you've been to Hampi,
Oh yes,
it's so
absolutely.
beautiful. Those sculptures are like, I can't just imagine. There are these cultures which has created three dimensions, not just paintings but also cultures. Then Ajanta, Ellora, these cave
India's
paintings.
exactly India's speciality. If you ask me, I'm absolutely in awe of these cultures that of Indian temples, especially
Yes,
when you go
yes,
to
yes.
not only Hampi, when you go to Meenakshi temple,
Meenakshi,
that is
oh
in
my gosh, lovely. I mean,
all
art is
these
flooded,
even to
completely flooded.
Kerala. If you've
Yes,
been to Kerala,
I've
the
been to
Padmanabh,
every
all
of these
these
states.
South
Correct.
Indian temples are absolutely a joy to watch just from the outside. And unfortunately, I guess a lot of I'm not aware of that if foreigners are allowed to see within the temple. But whoever has had the opportunity to go and see it
Yes.
from the outside as well as
As well
from
as
the
the inside.
inside, you will just be awestruck. Just that you know you just keep it's like a museum. For me, that temple
Absolutely,
was it was
absolutely.
it was more of a museum for me.
I'm telling you,
And
1 month is not enough to see Hampi. Trust me, you require 3 months to see Hampi every detail. And at that time, you come to know that Edith Thomry comes alive when you see those pillars, and when you read everything about the India and the West. Those things come alive in front of your memories, and like, it's alive, and your memories are there. You get intrigued completely looking at that, and you are like
even
stunned. Yes,
for that matter, even the Ajanta, the way they
yes, yes,
described,
yes, yes,
even
yes.
the Ajanta Ellora,
Correct,
these
correct, correct.
these sculptures, and that is absolutely fabulous.
Superb,
And
superb.
just imagine that era, that those days where today we have everything at
Correct,
our
correct, correct.
disposal. Those days, what technology do you think?
They used
I mean,
to
hardly
reflect with the natural light inside.
absolute, absolute.
And those
It's
colors
a
also
monolith.
has not
It's a
faded.
monolith.
Yes, yes,
The entire temple.
yes.
Just
Bhimbetka, if you go to Bhimbetka, the cave paintings are still there in MP. And
Uh-huh.
the philosophy of Bhim Betka is Bhim Baitha Tha in Bihar. So
Okay.
Bhim Betka. That's how in Bihari they say like Bhim Betka, Bhojpuri that is. If I'm
Oh,
not
right.
wrong, it is that term which is used. The caves of Bhim Betka are fantastic. Like cave
Mm-hmm.
paintings. Have you visited MP?
No, I haven't. I've been.
I think you
I
should
need,
come with
in
me a
fact,
lot. I've traveled crazily India. That's the reason I stepped out
I
for
guess so.
to see these treasures that are there, and photography helped me out in getting these things. So
For me, these temples itself, those pyramidal shaped ones, the figures, little figures, and the entire story is on the walls, or it's on the exteriors of the entire story of whether it is
there are lifestyles.
Shiva. Or,
There are
yeah, yeah,
lifestyles. Like what
and
they used to do and how they used to live. Everything was like a storyboard, like their drawing board or soft board, pinning up
exactly.
the day's lifestyle, and that is what they documented everything. Like today, we
Absolutely.
document everything in Keep in the mobile phones. There used to be caves with stones, and these people who
It was
used to
all
be.
there on the caves. It was all there on the temples. Everything
Imagine the
was
focus, how they used to gain the synergy between the harmony. Everything is like just it raises your goosebumps. Trust me, it's full of culture everywhere. You go to any
I
places
think
and yeah.
I think a lot of people, a lot of artists must visit all these
Yes.
temples. You see,
You go to
especially
Himachal, you see Rorik's painting at the palace, and you will come to know how beautiful those bold patches are. Why he wanted to stay in India. Why he stationed himself in India and he painted all the Himalayas, where the blues, and you should see those paintings. You should travel to Himachal sometimes and see Rorik's paintings. I mean, lovely. You love the different bold patches and everything. Like,
I,
very beautiful. So, the passion is at the end of the day, it's a passion. So, I can see that flooded from as India as well as in the West, both ways. The
yeah, that's
influence
what.
and the influence, the students, whether they are getting this chance to actually visit these places or not, is much needed
Yes,
today.
I think if students are taken to these places, you see, where I understand that when a teacher teaches, it's from the books in the textbooks and all. But I personally feel one actually should go and visit these places to understand,
Correct.
unless and until you don't see it personally,
Correct.
you're not just purely on those seeing those books is not
we should
something you'll
we should say that
understand.
history should be seen.
Absolutely.
History should be
These
seen.
places it comes alive
Correct.
when
Correct.
you see all these memories. It becomes
Yes.
a permanent memory.
Correct.
You can't forget
Not at
these
all.
stuff.
Not at all. Not at all.
So I enjoyed going to all these places, and I'm sure someday I should be visiting
I
even the
would love
seaside
your company if you can join me.
challenge. Yes,
Definitely.
and all those, even the I
Rome is
like.
my Rome is my dream.
I was about to say that
Rome
Rome
is
is
my dream. Like every
every
part of
artist.
Rome is my dream. The day I think we'll be over there. Just flooded with memories and everything to just
So
look
the
into.
architecture,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
street, the monuments,
Louvre Museum, the Paris
yeah,
Louvre
yeah,
Museum, everything.
yeah, yeah.
Michelangelo's the sculptures, and my gosh,
Sculptures,
I mean, I'll just go on. We move on to the
absolutely.
fourth question. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
you chose applied arts, whereas your passion was for fine arts. So, how did this change happen, and why? I mean, definitely I know why, but I would I would love the world to listen why that change happened.
Um, I thought applied arts too has a challenge on its own because it actually uh, activates your brain.
Correct.
It activates you. You come out with ideas. So for that reason, applied art when you have to really see, you can always apply ideas. Ideas are something that you can make a series out of them,
Correct.
themes out of them.
Correct.
So if you know how to ideate, you can bring it out in the form of maybe obviously visual ads. That is when it comes to advertising, or when you're working in when you're doing fine art, the same thought process you can apply it in fine art. It's just that fine art has got a different way of rendering. Fine art is
Expression.
more,
Yeah.
but it's more impulsive, it's more spontaneous, it's more from the soul. It is, you're not trying. Fine art is something that you're not trying to impress. Rather, you're not
Correct.
catering to anyone's taste.
Correct.
Here
Correct. Correct.
it is all
Absolutely correct.
about, it
Very
comes
rightly
from
said.
within, and it comes from the soul. And fine art is something that what appeals to you, what inspires you, what just comes out of you is what I feel. You can
True. Absolutely.
you actually as in Hindi they say the Atma comes on
Atma.
the
Correct.
canvas.
Correct. Correct.
So,
Correct.
it's a reflection of your soul
And it's not
on the
imitation of anything. It's something very
absolutely.
original from your heart directly on the canvas, and it's blunt.
Yeah.
It's
Whereas
blunt.
in case of applied art, I thought you have to cater to a certain. There are parameters put on. There are certain, you have to
TGs.
work those parameters.
Yes.
It looks, certain areas you're tied up, but that too is a challenge. I wanted to explore both. In fact, my initial days, I didn't know when I joined JJ's the college. I didn't know the difference between the two. I was absolutely, if you ask me, I was absolutely ignorant about these.
Many are ignorant. I mean, especially from the career point of view, after 10th, when kids come and they want to understand what is applied arts and what is fine art, it's a big task for us to explain it to them and make them understand that what it is and what not it is. But fine art is a small subject in applied arts, where after during the foundation 2 years of foundation, now it is reduced to 1 year of foundation.
Exactly.
So
In fact,
we had
the
2 years
degree,
of foundation
yeah,
during our times, and now it is after 12th, and it is 1 year foundation and 3 years specialization. It's just a 4 years. Yeah,
has been cut down to 4 years, right?
cut down to 4 years. So,
Yeah.
but
So we were fortunate. That means we were
we are
fortunate that
100% fortunate. I think
that
the best batch we had, with so many flying colors of successful artists who are there from our end, in applied arts as well as in fine arts. Like, you have won awards, so although that's a modesty from your end, but yes, that is something which we feel proud that our batchmate has reached to that level where he has won awards. And I never mentioned it, but I wanted to mention it somewhere so let the people know that he is an award-winning fellow also, who has done good art in that context.
yeah.
So this remains always in the mind of an artist, that which genre he chooses and what he chooses, and
Today,
why
today
he
it
has
has
to.
slowly, yeah.
But
So
given a
today,
choice, suppose you get, suppose now that as you said, see a company approaches you looking at your paintings, and they want to do something for the IPL or maybe some event, then would you not be interested in portraying extremely great canvas, because you're a cricket fan? I see that.
oh yes, I am. I am. To ask me about that,
So just imagine.
that day would, yeah.
Yeah, just imagine
So
some favorite player, and you get your brush and you get your soul to actually express on a bigger canvas, where it's going to be a billboard. Just
yeah.
imagine, even an applied artist wouldn't be able to convey the mood the way you can convey the mood. So wouldn't you love doing that?
See, there's a common thing. There's a common platform. When you say strokes in cricket, also stroke makes a lot of
Correct.
that the
Correct.
term stroke is common in both the fields.
Yes.
So definitely, cricket has been inspiring, and as you said, if such an opportunity to do on such subjects, it arises. Why not? In fact,
So yes,
that is
advertising agencies, if you all are hearing, then approach Venki for assignments, because I'm sure his canvas and his strokes will do great justice to your work. Because conceptually also is very fine tuned, and stroke wise you have seen the work in the initial 1 minute, and we'll also play it again if time permits. So Lovely, Venki. So we move on to the next question.
Yeah, yeah.
Even after you completed your profession, you opted for choosing fine arts. And does it support your living?
Yes, it does. In For
Because
me, it
you're
was.
completely organic. That's the reason I'm asking. You're
Yeah, I'm sure.
completely. Huh.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of people, when they reach their mid 30s or 40s, they realize that all this while they've been doing this for a certain reason.
Correct.
So, and then later on, they know it. They know what is their inner calling.
Correct.
You listen to you listen to your heart, and then slowly move on from one
Absolutely.
aspect. That is, I moved on from, after spending for about more than 12 years, 12 to 13, 14 years. Now I don't even think about it.
Recollect.
Now slowly I moved on from there to what I actually wanted to do, because uh, I know that painting has been there since generation, and in my own family, my father does it, and automatically uh, it does,
Yeah,
just
his
passed.
flame has passed on. It's like a
It's
legacy
passed.
now.
Yeah,
Your father
exactly.
is a fantastic
So,
billboard, was a fantastic billboard artist also. He painted many movie posters and everything. Now he does spiritual posters also. So he's still doing it. And that's a great thing where the family tradition is flowing.
and so I thought, when I saw others doing it, and when I saw that the time is right, having done advertising, I said enough is enough. I think I need to move on, otherwise I need to continue with this, otherwise probably I might lose touch of it, and again I might lag behind.
Okay.
So I thought, I need to dabble and come out with, with plenty of work, and let me explore myself, let me see what is possible, because there's been a long gap. When I say 12, 13, 14 years of applied art,
Correct.
obviously in between, whenever I used to get time, I would try to somehow keep myself engaged with fine art.
True.
But that fear was there, that what if I have to do the, and all these years and all my entire life, if I have to do applied art, then obviously, I'll not be able to train myself. I won't reach a level which I wanted to. I perceive myself to be, of that level where, when you see all these masters, these greats, as I said, as I've said, John Singer Sargent happens to be my favorite artist. If you have to really come to at least if you have to be even 1/10 of that,
Wow.
of his work, then I think it's time you dedicate your, the second half of your life to painting. So I said,
Wow.
beyond a point, I decided, and moreover in advertising, we all know that it's teamwork.
Correct.
You need to coordinate with photographer, with illustrator, with the computer digital operator, who design, who knows, who understands the software and the printer. It's all, you need to have a proper team.
Dependability.
And yeah, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and also you need to have a good client who understands and who has the budget to publish it.
True. Very true.
Because whenever you see, when the budget goes overboard after having done a entire,
Yes,
and then the
yes.
client reverts back and says, oh, I don't have
Nahi.
this kind of budget,
Correct.
so
Correct.
let's cut
Correct.
down the
That
budget.
always happens.
So this leads to, actually, after having done
Discouragement.
good work, and then, if it sees the light of the day, of course you'll get a good response. But then these things happen. Certain things don't go your way,
Correct.
and when the client says, "Oh, we don't have the budget. You might have to do these things below the line stuff and all." So then you tend to get disheartened.
Disheartened.
Disheartened,
Very
uh, and if it keeps happening, then it doesn't really motivate you. It
Motivated.
doesn't,
Correct.
right? So there are many factors which I felt was not really, nature was not. I would say, it was not really helping my cause. you know,
Wow.
I wanted to derive satisfaction out of my work, which I really didn't. I did, although through freelance work, of course, there were a few works here and there, but overall, after having spent so much years, so many number of years, I felt I was under. I couldn't really take it to the end.
Oh,
I felt a little underutilized.
okay.
So I said, let me utilize myself. I think I can express myself even in fine art. It's the same brain. It's the same. That's why when you see, when if you've seen the one of the series, the other side is green. That's where I thought, let's go, let's go conceptual. Let's come out with a theme, with a
You
thing that
have
probably
titles
no
for
one.
your, yes, you have
Yeah,
titles. So thematically also you have thought, and you've done some contemporary work which is really great to
yeah, it is,
visualize.
and I thought, it personally gives me a bit of satisfaction simply because I actually could come out and could express myself
That's
in
more
those
important.
paintings. Yeah,
That's
and
more important.
I could convey what I wanted to, which happened, which translated on canvas. So that is one aspect that which I feel it has done that what I wanted to deliver.
Okay.
So that is one thing.
So life is not
Uh,
compromised then at all.
It's
I would
not.
say.
That's what I'm saying. I did derive. There were certain certain works in applied art where I derived satisfaction. But overall, if you see, I felt I could do a lot, in terms of scripting, in terms of a lot of things, Uh,
Correct.
but certain things don't go your way,
Your way.
and
Correct.
which is fair enough. So I moved. I mean,
Part of life. Part of life.
I also liked, because I had planned this way. Uh, Post 30, mid 30s, I need to anyway. I had long back. I had planned this way that I have to get into finance
Oh,
because that was the
okay.
real calling. And I did sense that I had a feeling of insecurity wherein I shouldn't, what has come as a gift from my father. I mean,
It
it's
should
there in
not
my genes.
diminish. It should not
Yeah,
diminish.
it should not diminish. So I said, let me dabble with fine art as well.
Wow.
And when I got into that, I thought, uh, this is giving me this is the ultimate thing. It gives you satisfaction in a most.
Beautiful manner.
I thought, look, nature seems to be supporting, as in, you know, where people would, you would just be uh, uh, flowered with, you would be showered with compliments and this. I mean, for them it was absolutely new. They had never seen this side of my work. So when they saw this side, uh, they assumed that this is where it should have been. So
So
maybe
then
as we all know.
everything is said and done. Like you said it, everything in all cases. I can see the contentment on your face today, and that I think
Absolutely.
says it all. You know,
Absolutely, and it's not
because
that I've forgotten. It's not that
because people who knows
I've
about
stopped.
contentment on the face, the body language, the gesture, the smile, and the happiness that I can see on your face is only because of the freedom that you enjoy doing it. And that freedom, I think, is the most important thing for every artist who wants to come out and who wants to showcase his ability. Your ability actually has proven the best, you know.
In fact, you've also seen a lot of these in advertising. Also, you've heard, you would have come across a lot of copywriters who would have done their engineering and then switched off, switched moved
Your
on to
reception is little getting hazy. Reception, your reception is getting a little hazy. I think, is it out of battery or something? Your phone?
no, no, I don't think so. Is
Yeah,
it? Am I
yeah.
audible now?
No, it is very hazy. It looks very chalky and hazy, distorted sort of.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
could be the
So
reason? Internet, I suppose. Internet. Your internet,
no,
I
I don't
suppose.
think so.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
So now can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it is the reception is very, 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 very shabby. Huh.
Okay. I
It's
think
still.
I
I think the internet is lagging, if I'm not mistaken. There is some
Probably,
issue with your network. It could be some issue with your network. Probably that is the only reason which I'm seeing. Don't worry. If you want, you
probably.
can adjust. I'll meanwhile take a small break, and then we'll come back. Is it so? Is it okay?
I think we can. I think we can carry on. I'm sure
Okay, but
we
the
can carry.
reception, huh? But you started looking like you're 67 years old. Everything is drooping, if you see.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's the reason. So we'll take a short break and we'll come back. You just adjust your reception and we'll come back.
Oh,
Okay.
sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Is it okay? But still, the reception is very, very chalky. It looks like a watercolor painting. Yes.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I think what we wanted to show our viewers also. I'm sure
Seeing a live demonstration of the technology. The
he himself
technology
has
actually got.
meant to.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll carry on.
I guess. Yeah, I think we have to carry on.
Yes. Uh,
It's pixelated, suppose, right?
it's very pixelated. Very, very pixelated. I'm telling you, you look like a 65-year-old Venki.
Okay.
The watercolors are just moving. Anyway, we'll just move on.
Yeah.
I always saw you intrigued with the Renaissance period as your paintings gives a glimpse of that. Didn't you feel studying abroad could have given you a better platform or a potential audience? And if you get
Yes.
now,
Right.
even if you get now, would you love to go?
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, there's no denying that. In those days also, there's always this temptation, you know. But then we had decided, I had decided that I'll go ahead with applied art. But that from within, I had this that I must, you know, if I get a chance. But half, I completely dedicated the first half to applied art. Now the second half of my life, I'm getting fine art. So if anything comes my way, I'm sure I know for sure that I'll definitely jump, you know, jump on it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
It's
It,
I am just hoping you get an opportunity when people are hearing you now. Somebody calls you from London and Venki, just come over because we've seen your work and we need you here. It would be your dream come true, right, Venki?
absolutely. You nailed it. You just nailed it.
God
But
bless,
but
man.
does
God bless.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. In Europe, art is very much appreciated. Be it Europe, be it Australia, be it America, you know, all these places, be it Russia, all the be in fact for that matter, even China.